You can ask anything, no walls between us.
Bloomers, welcome back to the Blossoming Journal.
No secrets.
What is generalized anxiety disorder? It sounds like a common thing because of generalized, but then disorder makes it sound like something's not right.
With an anxiety disorder, the anxiety does not go away.
When you are unable to control that anxiety, that stress, this overwhelming feeling, you simply can't breathe, simply can't think, simply can't function. So if the anxiety is getting in the way of your daily functions, that is when you need help, professional help. And not just to talk about stress, but to explore, why are you always so worried about everything? Why are you always so stressed and overthinking? The first step is always acknowledgement. Generalized anxiety disorder, or all the other several types of anxiety disorders, it does get worse, or you would be more prone to having it if you presently have a depressive disorder, because they kind of go hand in hand. If you think about it, when you're depressed, you're sad, you're stressed, you're sad, you're anxious. That's pretty much the same ingredients that goes into anxiety, regardless of what type of anxiety, because there's many types. So that is what generalized anxiety disorder is, as a simple form of definition. Now, what are the symptoms? I'm not a doctor. My disclaimer at the beginning, I'm not a doctor. But I myself have generalized anxiety disorder, so I know what it feels like. But it's also true that not everyone is going to have the same kind of symptoms in a particular order or in a particular level of severity. These are the most common. It's trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, which is insomnia. Trembling, twitching, tense muscles. It comes to a point where you can literally just put your hands out and just be like, oh my god, they're literally going like that. Headaches or migraines, which are a bit. Irritability, yes, your mood is impacted as well. Sweating, nervous, anxious, sweaty palms, or sweating before you need to go on to a podium to give a public address to people. That is typical anxiety. You get hot flashes, and no, don't worry, you're not going through menopause. It's just part of the disorder. You feel lightheadedness. Your pulse is extremely high, so your resting heart rate, instead of being between 65 and 85, you're probably at 105. Trouble breathing. Now, this is where anxiety disorders have in common. I'm just explaining how it feels like. It feels like you have an elephant sitting on your chest, and therefore you can't exhale, inhale like normal, and you literally start to panic because you feel like you are going to die. So when the panic sets in, it makes the anxiety attack far worse. Crazy palpitations. Nausea and fatigue is another one that's quite high on the list, because fatigue comes from the inability to stay rested or peaceful. Because you're constantly, on edge and irritable. Tremendous difficulty in calming down or relaxing. Your body just can't do that. It is a medical condition. No matter how much you try to tell your mind, calm down. You get lumps in your throat. Now, have you ever experienced having like a phlegm, as if you were having a really bad cold? Having a phlegm that's just stuck there and unable to be expelled or to be swallowed. That my doctor told me was, do you have difficulty swallowing? Do you feel like you have a lump in your throat? And does it feel like it's like mucus? And I said, yes, all the time. So yeah, that's one of the symptoms as well. Tremendous difficulty concentrating. And I experienced this, and it scared the shit out of me, because it became so difficult for me to read and understand what I was reading, or to have any attention span to finish watching a documentary, a show, a movie, and being present in the moment. That is, you can't. You just can't. Your body is going through a very traumatic experience. So concentration and focus is the last thing that you're able to do. Being unable to relax. Again, restlessness. And even though you feel fatigued and lightheaded, it doesn't mean you can rest, because you also do tend to get insomnia, right? So when you have difficulty sleeping, resting is even more difficult because you're so stressed, your muscles are all tense, you can't breathe, your chest hurts, you're having heart palpitations, your heart rate is incredibly crazily high, and you are unable to focus, so you feel disoriented, you feel really lost. What do you do next? Well, when it comes to the very, I wouldn't say severe, but when it comes to like the bad cases, then you need to be medicated. That's not like set in stone. No. It's not that, oh, I have anxiety, I need to take medication. No. It completely depends on the person. Everyone is unique in that sense, and their experience and the way their body is handling the anxiety disorder is unique to every single person. But having a general idea of what to look for if you know something's not right, or symptoms that you need to know in order to understand that, hey, you know what, I think I need help. Counseling sessions are the most important part. When you go for therapy, be it counseling, cognitive behavioral therapy, psychotherapy, and even hypnotherapy, you're not only able to release your stress and your fears and talk about it, but you're also going to be able to understand, first of all, why are you having these symptoms? Secondly, learn how to cope with the symptoms. Somebody to help guide you through your anxiety and help you manage your anxiety so that you don't have a full-blown anxiety attack, because trust me, the amount of times I ended up in the emergency room because of a full-blown anxiety attack, it's crazy, I'll tell you that. Relaxation techniques, it's going to be difficult at first. I have to give you that. I have to tell you that, because you are an anxious person, you're this live wire, so therefore you can't wait, you don't have patience, you can't wait, you want everything to happen now. It's like when you can't breathe, you want this to finish and be over so that you can breathe properly now. So having to be patient is something that is so difficult when you struggle with anxiety or you have an anxiety disorder. Your therapist is going to teach you certain techniques on how to manage your symptoms so that you don't have to rely on medication so much, or that it can go in tandem with medication and therapy. These two combinations sometimes can really help you. But I have to make a disclaimer here. The medications that are often prescribed for anxiety disorders are benzodiazepines. They are meant to be used for a short term only. You're not supposed to be on them for longer than 6 months. In fact, I think 6 months is too long. But for some people, it's extremely difficult to get off it because their anxiety and the trauma is just unbearable. Your therapist is going to give you exercises. The most common exercise that most therapists will ask you to do is have a journal or a diary and just write down every single day how you're feeling, why are you feeling this way, how bad does it feel, so that eventually when you go back to your journal and you start looking at the dates perhaps a month ago, then you can sort of like gauge where you are today. Are you better off, or are you worse, or are you still in the same position? So journaling is very important for many reasons. It's also for you to really let out whatever you want. Another way that you can help yourself is making lifestyle changes. So perhaps try to relook at your diet, your lifestyle, your routines, your daily routines. Do you exercise? Do you eat healthy food? Do you eat fruits and vegetables? Do you drink enough water? Things like these, which also can go into your journal, by the way, so that you really track down everything that you are experiencing and what are you doing to cope, or what are you doing to make yourself feel better. Just that alone is enough to guide you through your own experience of dealing with generalized anxiety disorder. And again, I'm coming from a place as someone who does struggle a lot. So I know what it feels like. And yes, everything that you find online, if you were to Google generalized anxiety disorder, yes, it's pretty much very similar to that. So please take care of yourselves. If you're stressed, take some time to cool down or take some time for yourself. Because remember, your health is the most important thing in your life. It's not your job, it's not your social circles, it's you. If your health is not at its optimal level, then there's so many things that can go wrong. At one point was questioning myself. Is because at that time my job was extremely stressful and it was manifesting in many negative ways, both mentally and physically. So it came to a point where I asked myself a very simple question. Is the very nice paycheck and benefits that you get from this company worth my sanity? It was an immediate no. My sanity is my priority. So if I'm not taking care of myself, it's going to be really hard. When you struggle with generalized anxiety disorder or any other mental disorder for that fact, you have to weigh out the pros and cons of what is causing you all of this stress and what is the desired outcome. That is something that you have to come to conclusion of yourself. Only you can know how much you can take, what is your threshold, what are you willing to put up with, what is really worth in your life, prioritize things, and you are the only person who can decide that. You have to evaluate your circumstances in life. And if you find that one aspect of your life is causing you so much stress or is triggering your generalized anxiety disorder and making your symptoms worse, then that stress needs to be addressed. It's as simple as that. Your health is first place. It's your priority. So my dear bloomers, please like and share this video, and please subscribe if you enjoy my channel and my content, which is basically mental health awareness, so that the YouTube algorithm will promote my video somehow and let you watch it. It is reality, whatever. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again very soon with another video.